Good evening. This is Alex Sturgeon for HIUS 530 American Christian Heritage, and this is Forum 1 Module 2. And today I'll be doing this discussion on the Quaker executions as myth and history by Carla Pestana. I really love this article because, frankly, Puritanism, and like she puts in the article, Puritanism and Quakerism is such a polarizing topic and is one that I am familiar with, but only basically as it's presented to you in elementary school as pilgrims and religious freedom and kind of these things that kind of get lost in the fray. But really, when you drill it down into them, um, it really opens up a lot of other doors. So that being said, I really enjoyed reading this article. So let's kind of jump into it, and I really love that Tostana is talking about how the results of everything that took place was basically just differing understandings of Quakerism, and how really the Puritans just disproportionately reacted to them just by misunderstanding them. I see this in Christianity today, where different sects and different churches don't like each other because they just don't understand each other, or I don't know. That's besides the point. Anyways, I love this article because really she hinges it all on this idea that the event of the executions in the 1650s really sets the tone for how this story and how these two parties are pitted against each other throughout history, and how we see them today and the generations after them are going to see them, all because of these executions. Yeah. So, anyways, move on. I like that Pastana wrote that the Puritans viewed the Quakers as a threat, and that they had to create that the threat to what they had created, the Puritans had created in Massachusetts, in the Massachusetts colony. Um, and it's clear. I mean, it's clear that the Puritans came here for religious freedom, but then quickly became the intolerant tolerance. They became the thing they disliked most when they came here. And then as soon as the Quakers arrived, now it does say, I will say, Pisana does go into details and say that as soon as the Quakers arrived, they very quickly started converting people in Rhode Island and quickly had their eyes set on Massachusetts as well. And so that's where it all begins. As soon as there becomes a threat to the creation that the Puritans had made in the Massachusetts colony, what ended up happening is that they start coming with all these ideas and deciding that the Quakers are devilish and they're deluded and they're disturbed and they're a threat. And fear does a lot of things, and we know this. Anyways, however, unfortunately for the Puritans in this situation, the Quakers have a lot of resolve. They believe that they've been called by God to do this, and they are way more scared of what Pastana writes is the imminent threat of meeting their Maker, because the end of days is coming. That they are not very concerned with whatever the Puritans have for them. So the Quakers kind of just keep coming, and she writes that the Puritans just see this as the basically confirming what they thought, that the Quakers are just a threat and they're going to keep coming. Anyways, that being said, she writes that as a result, the Puritans start writing policies that aggressively start trying to repress them. And these things include whippings, tortures, banishing them from the cities. But like I said, because they are so adamant and sticking in and continuing their mission, they keep coming back. And eventually that's going to result in harsher punishments. And this is going to come to a head. This is going to come to a head in 1659. when Puritans are going to sentence 5 people to execution. Those people include a Yorkshire farmer named Marmaduke Stevenson, a young London resident named William Robinson, and Rhode Island lander Mary Dyer, and former Boston resident and staunch supporter Anne Hutchinson. So those are the people that they're going to set for execution. Not all of them are going to be executed. Mary Dyer is going to be, when it comes down to it, is going to walk away. But to be clear, eventually she will die a year later. So this right here, this moment where they execute these people, these Quakers, it changes everything. Um, and Bastana writes that basically the Quakers take this time to write their own history. They change the narrative, and they create one that says Quakers are a pacifist, God sacrificial lamb that are only here to do the mission that they feel called to, while the Puritans are hypocritic, intolerant zealots that would do anything to harm anything that stood in the way of what they've created. Um, and the Quakers capitalize on this, and it really has set the tone for how we see them today, between how we look back and see as Puritans and how we look at and see as Quakers. And really, the Quakers do this masterfully because they strategically leave out, when writing their own story, how early on they were being very aggressive. So I'm quickly running out of time. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this. Um, I'll try to break it down a little more concise next time. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.